Hey everybody, welcome to the Chapter 10 walkthrough. Chapter 10 focuses on financial statements and reports. We've already created some statements and reports already, so hopefully this won't be super hard to do. So as always, I start, there's an overview at the beginning of the chapter, and then the next page is where we start. And so I'm on the page that's titled Income Statement. And this is going to walk us through creating an income statement. QuickBooks uses the term profit and loss report. And just so you know, an income statement and a profit and loss are the same thing. Those are synonymous terms, and those are just reports that that summarize the revenues and expenses of a company. So I'm going to just start those steps under to create a profit and loss report for the sample company. Do the following. So we're going to open our internet browser, which I've done, gone to Craig's Design and Landscape Services, or the sample company. That's step 2. And then step 3, we're going to click reports on the navigation bar. Again, we've done this before. And step 4, we're going to type profit and loss. And there it brings up a profit and loss for us. Since this company was set up as a 2022 company, right now it has the date going from January 1st all the way to today, which when I'm doing this is October 5th, 2022. So that's step 4. And then step 5 tells us to change the date to the first of the current month, change the from date to the first of the current month and the to day to the last of the current month. So I was looking at this before, and there's not a lot of transactions in October or September, the way this sample company is set up. So I'm going to use August because that is the last month that had lots of data in it. So I'm going to do August 1st to August 31st. And our numbers are not going to come out the same. It's okay. This is a sample company. I'm just showing you how to do it. But if you read it in the textbook, it actually tells you it's not going to come out the same. So don't worry about it. So we're going to run the report. And so now I can see my profit and loss for August 2022. So step 6 tells us to click on 937.50 or whatever amount is shown next to design income. So I'm right here. And so what we're doing here is what's cool about the reports in QuickBooks is you can click on the numbers and it will do what's called a drill down. So it will take you to where that number comes from. So if I click on design incomes total, then it's going to take me to a transaction report for all design income. It's going to show all the different times the design income has changed, okay, during that last month. And so we can see that series of transactions. And then we can drill down again from in that. So like if we wanted to look at Paulson Medical Supplies, this is step 7, and see the invoice that led to this amount. Can click on that and it'll bring up the invoice. So if you're ever looking for something in QuickBooks, it's often the best way is from a report. You can drill down on a certain amount and then drill down to find the specific invoice or sales receipt that created it. So we're just going to back out of this now by hitting cancel and then by clicking back to report summary, which takes us back to the profit and loss. That's the end of the first section, the profit and loss section. So next, we'll go to the balance sheet. So to create a balance sheet, again, we're going to go to reports, step 2, and then we're going to type balance sheet. Remember, a balance sheet is just a summary of the assets, the liabilities, and the equity of a company. And if you remember from accounting, our assets have to total our liabilities and equity. So there we are, step 3. We have a balance sheet up there. Step 4, again, you can see it kind of automatically assumes we want to see this year, but they want us to just see the current month again. So, but again, because there's not any data really for October of 2022 or really September, I'm going to use August. So I'm just going to use the month of August. Again, in real life, this is actually easier. You know exactly what month you're looking at, and you'll have data in your months. So I'm going to hit run report, and that's going to show me my assets and my liabilities and my equity for not for the month of August, but at the end of the month of August. That's an interesting differentiation, that income statements show us our revenue and expenses over a period of time, so like for a month, but our balance sheet will just show us what our balances are in each of these accounts at the end of or as of the date we choose. So if we say from one date to August 31st, really it's just what's the balance of these accounts at August 31st. All right, again, they want us to see that we can drill down. So it says to click on the amount under accounts receivable. And this time it actually matches up with what's in the book. So, and that will take us to, again, all the transactions that impacted accounts receivable during the month. If we want to, we can look at cool cars. Let's see. Do we have a matching payment for cool cars? 1,675.52. And that will show us the actual payment record. So again, I think they just want to show us that we can drill down from any of these reports and see more details all the way down to the actual where we received the payment in QuickBooks. So I'm going to get cancel, and then I'm going to hit back to summary report, which will take me back to the balance sheet. So the next section is a statement of cash flows. So again, step one, continue where we left off. Step two, click reports. We're going to type statement of cash flows. And it will bring up this statement of cash flows. Again, it's going to default to the whole year, but I'm going to actually go back to August 1st through August 31st. Run my report. There'll be my cash flows. You can see I actually had a decrease in cash for the period. Step 5, we're going to look at our note payable right here, 25,000. And we can click on it, again, showing us the drill down feature. So we can see that that's the only transaction that's in there that impacted the balance of that account. So whenever we click on something, it just takes us to a transaction report for whatever item we're clicking on. And then if we want to click on the 25,000 there, it'll show us how that occurred. And in this case, it occurred because it was part of the opening balance, right? We owed that note at the beginning of when we created, or when this company was created. So again, we'll hit cancel, and we'll go back to the report summary. All right, so moving on to the next section, the accounts receivable aging summary. So accounts receivable, remember, is money that's owed to you. So that's an asset. It's money that your customers typically owe you. So step 1 and then step 2, we're going to go to the reports menu, and we're going to say accounts receivable aging summary. Again, it defaults to the current year. Oh, no, it doesn't. It defaulted to as of today. So I think in that case, I can, let's see. Yeah, I can just leave it as it is because it's defaulting to the current day, which means this is all the money that's owed to you as of the current day. Okay, so these are all the different companies that owe us money as of right now. And then you can see how it's aged. Current means people who owe us money, but it's not past due. 1 to 30 means anything that is 1 to 30 days past due. 30 to 61 or 31 to 60 is money that's 31 to 60 days past due, 61 to 90, and then 91 and over. You can see the majority of the money that's owed to us is 1 to 30 days past due, and so forth. So that's what an AR, accounts receivable aging summary report does. It breaks down who owes you what and how past due it is. Okay, So if we look at Bill's windsurf shop, the $85 they owe us, click on that. We can see that was done back on June 30th. And that's why it's showing in the 61 to 90 days past due category. And yeah, that gives us the detail of it. And then if we wanted to, we could click on like the amount here. And that would take us directly to the actual invoice for the stuff we sold them. That's really nice if we're calling Bill's windsurf shop to say, hey, you haven't paid us yet. And they're like, oh, we thought we paid you. We can just click right there, find out what the invoice number was and the date, and then we can give them that information. And when this is really set up, you can even just, from right here, just email a copy of that invoice directly to the person too, since you have the customer's email. So that's actually super cool. So step 6 says call Bill to find out when he's planning to pay you. Actually, don't do that, right? Instead, we're going to hit cancel. But really, in real life, managing your customer payments is like really crucial to survival. Businesses who can't manage and can't get their customers to pay don't survive very long. So this is a really nice tool, the AR aging detail report or summary and detail reports. All right, so I'm going to move on to the AP or accounts payable aging summary. So if accounts receivable is money owed to us, accounts payable is money that we owe to our suppliers. And so we can also check that out. So in reports, so I'm going to click on reports. That's step 2 under accounts payable aging summary. And then I'm going to type accounts payable aging summary. Again, it's good. It defaults to today. So as of today, this is money we owe to people. You can see we're past due 61 to 90 days on one bill. So we might want to get that paid for, right? But we're past due on a bunch of things. So I'm not sure why, but we need to get our bills paid, huh? So there's the money we owe. If we click on the 8644, it's going to drill down and we can see the detail of that. And then if we want to, we can click on the amount that we're past due, and it will take us all the way down to the bill. So again, that's the idea of the drill down. And you can even schedule an online payment direct from here when you have QuickBooks actually all set up for a real business. So we should probably get our bill paid if we're 90 days past due to Pacific Gas and Electric. I don't know why we still have power, but there we go. So again, I'm going to cancel out of this, go back to the report summary, and I'm going to move on to the inventory valuation summary. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's what our inventory is worth at a given moment in time. Okay, so step 2, click reports. Step 3, type inventory. And then we're going to click on the inventory valuation summary. So again, it's going to default to today. So as of today, this is the inventory we have listed at its cost. Okay. Step 4 tells us to click on the $25 representing the, or I'm sorry, the 25 representing the number of pumps we have. And that'll show our inventory valuation detail. In this case, we had those at the beginning of the period. So that's all the detail it's going to show. In real life, if say we had some and then we'd purchase some others, like it would break all that down for us and show us how we got that different inventory. Step 5, if we click the bill, let's see. I think I'm I don't see a bill reflecting the purchase of 8 pumps because this is part of my beginning balance. So I can't do step 5. But so this is as far back as I can go because this we put it as a opening value. If you had purchased something, you could click on it and it would take you down to the bill. So that's what they're trying to show you. But I'm the book I'm looking at is showing some weird stuff. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Again, all they're trying to show you is that you can click on these things and it will provide you with detail. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the report summary and then move on to the next section, which is customizing and saving reports. So we were supposed to have done this all throughout this course, but I noticed a lot of people don't do that, which was we were supposed to customize and save our accounts. I think it was our account summary or I think it was our summary by account that was back in chapter 3. It was a certain report, and then we're supposed to run that report at the end of each chapter. That was one of the reports we print. In fact, you think about it, when I've asked you to print reports each chapter, if you had memorized them, and the ones of you who have would know, it was like way easier, because then you just click on that report each time and you print it instead of having to find the report and update the dates and stuff each time. Anyway, so here we are. I'm going to go back to so I'm on customizing and saving reports. Step 1, continue where we left off. Step 2, click reports. We're going to find a profit and loss again. And again, I'm going to change the dates to the ones I was using, which are August 1st through August 31st, 2022. I hit run report. And now I'm going to have my report shown here. So then I can click customize. And under customize, I can adjust all sorts of stuff, like just the way I want to see it. So step 6 is we're going to select months from the column drop-down list. So if you look right here, rows and columns, under columns, we're going to say months. And then we're also going to place a check in the percent of income box. Where are we at here? Which we can find by clicking here on the change columns. And there's the percent of income. Now we're going to hit run report. And you'll see that right now I just have August. But if I were to say now I'm going to change this and go back to this year to date and run it. By telling it I wanted those columns, you'll see that what it does is it puts a column for each month. So we really only have data right now in May, June, July, and August because we're in the sample company. And then it kind of breaks it down by month. And in each given month, it tells us so the amount of each of these line items as a percentage of income. And when you really, if you think about that, you can go to customize and you can like, I mean, look at all the stuff you can do in here, right? You can change the number format. You can have the columns broken down in lots of different ways. You can say you want your negative numbers to show as negatives or as parentheses, or have them show up red, which is really normal a lot of accounting. You can change the header and footer. So they're just letting you know you can totally customize reports. Again, like in real life, if you were going to work for somebody, they would probably have their reports set up the way they want them, unless they're hiring you to come in and set those reports up for them, and then you just consult with the boss, whoever wants these reports, and figure out what format they like the most. Honestly, a lot of people don't care; they just use the default. but this lets you know you can customize it in whatever way you want to. So if once we find the customization that we like, we can click Save Customization, and we can call it whatever we want. Step 10 tells us to call it Profit and Loss Comparison. And then you can click Save. You can even create report groups and create people to share it with. Okay, so if you had like your boss wanted you to kind of update this report every month, you could have it shared with them, and just as you updated it, it would share that with them. So that is the end of customizing and saving reports and the end of chapter 10. So hopefully the walkthrough was helpful and will be helpful to you as you move into the case assignment for the chapter. I hope you have a great week. And again, I hope you're learning things with this software that are really helpful to you and will help you as you go into working with QuickBooks. Some of you maybe already are, and others of you as you begin doing so. So have a great week, and don't be afraid to reach out if I can help in any way.